for today's history lesson, I wanted to ask, what are your memories of kind of the big four coming together for those first shows?
So here's a funny thing. So Dave and I had been talking a little bit on text. I even flew over to California. This was as the Endgame album was out or just coming out. And we were talking, right? He was reaching out to me. And so we flew over, had sushi, walked along the Carlsbad Beach, just kind of hung out together, right? It was really nice. And then came the time to sort of negotiate. I remember I was at Judas Priest here. We're in town, and they were doing the 30th anniversary British Steel album, which for me is just die and go to headbanger heaven after that, right? And
Right.
so I had my attorney talking to Dave's manager, just trying to kind of negotiate. Okay, how are we gonna, because we're me and him just in and of ourselves, like, of course, let's grab a guitar, let's go, right? It was no
Right.
problem to come back, and then it was just sort of like, okay, and for me, I was like, in my mind, just go do it for free and for fun. Don't even make it about the money, and of course, but there is money there, so that has to be negotiated, which is why
Right.
Dave didn't want to talk about it between us, and then it kind of stopped. They were like, no, and then I remember getting kind of a mean message from Dave, like, your attorney fucked everything up, you know what I mean? And I was just like, what the fuck, So I just let it sit there for a bit, and then turned into the calendar into the new year, 2010. Big Four gets announced. In fact, I remember when it got announced, we were doing a gig with Hale. Me and Mike Portnoy. Actually, it was me and Ripper and Andreas Kisser, and Portnoy happened to be sitting in with us. We played BB King's in New York, and then we went up and played another show kind of up by where the Patriot Stadium is in New England there. And we were heading over to Eddie Trunk's to go to an interview, and Big Four got announced literally as I'm walking out the door of the hotel. And Portnoy's like, dude, you should be there for that. That's fucked up, man. You should be. I said, I know. And it's funny, that was the only time I ever met Paul Diano. He was just coming out of Eddie Trunk, so we met him on the sidewalk, took a picture. And went up, did the interview and everything, and I was chafed. I was like, what the fuck, this sucks that we just can't make this work, And then literally I come home after that a couple days later, and as I've told the story, my BlackBerry is in this room. I'm having, it was my son's birthday. And I walk in the office and just digging, and it's Sean Drover and Willie G go, dude, call Dave, let's go, come on, because they had announced the 20th anniversary Rust in Peace. And the reason is Tom Araya, I guess, had to go in and have a neck surgery, right? So they had postponed American Carnage. So Megadeth's management put on sale the 20th anniversary Rust in Peace tour. So, which is just going to be a 1-month tour around the country. I should add this back up to summer, I guess June maybe of the previous year. I'm on tour with Tim Ripper Owens, right? I'd played on his record. It was me, Chris Caffrey, the drummer Simon from AC/DC from Dio, and Wendy Dio's managing him, right? Simon, what was his name?
Simon
Wright. Yeah, Simon Wright.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're playing at Donington because Wendy put us on some shows with Heaven and Hell, and this is when Ronnie was still alive, of course, Ronnie James Dio. And so we're at Donington, and the agent John Jackson, who had booked Megadeth for many years, books Metallica, Iron Maiden, Slayer. He comes to me and he goes, David, it's so great to see you. I've got this fantastic idea. He's very British, right? A nice British gentleman, right? And he goes, the Big Four, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax, da da da. I'm like, cool. And he said, I'm actually flying over to meet Dave and Slayer in Canada because it was Megadeth. Slayer was doing Canadian Carnage. He goes, we're going to go. So I actually knew about this before Dave did. I knew about the Big Four before even Slayer and Megadeth knew about it. I knew about it, right? And John's a lovely man. And I told him, I said, it's a funny thing. Right before I was coming over here to do this, Dave was texting me. We were texting. I said, it's likely I might be in the band at that point, So this was 6 months before it even happened.
Oh, nice.
We were talking about this. So So it was great that then, fast forward, we're at Eddie Trunks, and it hasn't happened yet. Even Portnoy's pissed. What the fuck? You should be in Megadeth. How could this egregious sin happen? You know what I mean? So, but anyway, and then it happened, so then it all came together. And it was great. Obviously, suddenly, within a phone call, I'm back in Megadeth. I drive over there to San Diego, throw a couple bases in my car, we jam. Fred Koala was there, who
nice.
Who has been on our show.
Another future guest.
Yes, exactly. Yep. And we just plug in and play it. It just sounds like Megadeth, like that. You know what I mean? We just rip through Sympathy of Destruction. It's like, all right, that's easy. Let's go. And so there's a lot ahead of us at that time. It was 20th anniversary, Rust in Peace, the USA. Then we're going to South America, and of course we filmed the DVD, the Live from the Palladium. Last night of the U.S. tour, then South America, then heading to Europe. We're going to do Big Four. So, yeah, I mean, it was just bang, bang, bang. Big stuff. It was interesting because Lombardo was back in Slayer. Joey Belladonna was back in Anthrax. So, it was big, And I remember Lars said he was kind of briefing James and telling everybody, like, okay, this is what's going on. Ellison's back in Megadeth. Lombardo's back. Like, this is big stuff. This is big news anyway for each of the bands.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're all coming together as a family, as a brotherhood, to go rock the biggest stadiums in the world, So it was, that's what I remember about it. It was great. And, we would play a show, and then kind of as the show was wrapping up, a Big Four show, we'd hear, oh, there might be another one, and that was kind of how they did it. They just put it out there. And I mean, sure, if you're Metallica's management, this is great. It's cool. But, you don't want Metallica to be beholden only to the Big Four, even though we probably could have fucking just gone on tour and done that for 2 years everywhere around the world. You know what I mean? I don't think there would have been one headbanger complaining, because it was so awesome. But, in between whatever else Metallica was doing at that time, we would do these Big Four shows. And they were always huge. They were big. And then the fact that to capture it on DVD and not on just the DVD, but also, they contacted, I think it was like a boxing promoter company where they, when they broadcast boxing fights worldwide, I've heard that maybe it was a company like that, but however they did it, to be broadcast into the movie theaters around the world simultaneously, it's like kind of a simulcast. Oh, friggin' cool, man.
And no pressure on that one, right? Like you're not like you're in front of a million people or whatever in Bulgaria, plus how many ever around the world watching on. I
think they filmed it, and then there was a quick go to the truck, give the mix a listen. We're good, great, let's go. And then so there might have been a slight time delay, but literally only like an hour. Like there wasn't enough time to go back in and fix anything. I mean, it was pretty much as it happened, or maybe we heard the mix and that was what went on the DVD or something.
The David Ellefson Show.